Respected dear friends, sadhakas, welcome for our one more day's attempt of studying Shastras. Shastra Adhyanam first informs about the presence of something permanent beyond what we are going through now. Shastra also inspires us with that knowledge, and this regular study of Shastra alone reminds us that what life we are living is not so great or beautiful. One need not attach to that. Again, it is the Shastra Adhyanam alone creates the love for that ultimate goal or truth. And it is only the regular study of the Shastras which creates another most important thing in our hearts called as sense of urgency to know that self and get as soon as possible liberated. All these put together alone sadhana, and for all of that what is required is gained only by being regular in our Shastra Adhyanam, but Shastra Shravanam better. If one cannot do the Shravanam for any reason, at least Adhyanam. But in the Adhyanam, we will study from the Shastra, not what is there in Shastra. When we do Adhyanam independently, we study from the Shastra what we can think or what we know. But when it is Shravanam, then the entire Guru Parampara gives us more elaborate, more deeper, more clear understanding of the Shastra Jnana and through that the truth. So, if that is not done regularly, all these things, the sense of urgency will go away, the love for the Jnanam Shastra goes away, clarity of the knowledge goes away, inspiration gets loosened or removed. Then, even slowly, information regarding the presence of something beyond, which is to be reached as a goal by human beings, we forget that. And what happens is totally we continue or come back to our own earlier worldliness. This is one. Second is what? A pause and a thought. Key, such a good amount of time we have spent in trying to listen to one theme only, Paramatma, in all our classes throughout the day from such a long time. Did we get the crux of it? Did we get the essence of it as to what to achieve and to do for achieving that what to do? If this clarity has come to us, then our listening has become fruitful so far. What is to be achieved is our own selfhood, the real, deeper, inner self, which is all pervading, which is one without second. Although that is always so, by itself it doesn't require anything to do to be done. Yet the doing is required called as sadhana for undoing, which is obstructing our realizing our essential self. And to see it precisely, what we can put it in few words is what? It is only these three things our indriyas, our mana, our buddhi. These three, as much as they are into the world, then the world is real to that extent, and to that extent, we are away from the self. Only this much, entire Vedanta's crux. Whether you call it as Viveka Vairagya Shamadama, whether you call it as a Yamaniyama Asana Pranayama, whether you call it as Manasascha Indriyana Maikagram Paramatavaha, whether you call it as Satyena Labhya Sapasa Hiesha Atma Samyak Jnanena Brahmacharya Nityam. Yada hi esha eva tasmin antaram kurute. In whatever the language all said is this much. I, my faculties. Where am I applying them? Depending on that is my identity, my life of sukha or dukkha or moksha. Sukha Dukkha is one direction, Moksha is the other. In getting Sukha Dukkha, all our Indriyas, Mana, Buddhi, of course, Sharira also, involved in only the world of objects, worldly things other than Bhagwan. And then since how long it is going on, you can't question, you can't say correctly. And how long it will continue, we can say it is in our hands. So who is a sadhaka? The one who has got the clarity regarding this. Then he knows now what is sadhana is. My faculties, when they are towards the world, they and me are worldly. My faculties, when they are turned towards the God, then they are and me also divine, godly. Therefore, every moment, which are the faculties, are functional. And where are they functioning? Are they in the world and worldliness, or are they in the spirituality? This observance, and as said in Bhagavatadi, Yena Kena Prakarena Harihi Smartavya, or तस्मात् केनापि उपायेन मनः कृष्णे निवेशयेत् और यस्य ब्रह्मणि रमते चित्तम और सर्वदा स्थापनम बुद्धेः शुद्धे ब्रह्मणि सर्वदा और ध्यानम चिरम नित्य निरंतरम मुनेः और वेदांत वाक्येषु सदा रमन्तः और in so many shastras what is said is this only. As we just now chanted, Satyena Labhya Safasa Hesha Atma Samyak Jnanena Brahmacharyena Nityam. So, how frequently, how consciously, how completely, how deeply, and how long I am able to pull away my faculties from the delusory worldliness and apply them for the spiritual truth or the reality that determines our sadhana and that proves how much we have the urgency to know the truth, and that proves how clear we are in our knowledge, and that proves how serious regular we are in our shastra shravanam and adhyanam, and that proves how we are wanting to bring the meaning or fruitfulness to our life, so that viveka, that maturity, it has come to us. If all these are not done, means neither we are using our intellect for the highest purpose for which it is given, nor the entire human life also used for the great purpose for which it is given. We are continuing like as everybody is continuing, and as we also are continuing in millions of earlier lives to live only at the upadhi level as a jiva in the world, like everyone. तो देहादि उपाधियों के तादाद में, इंद्रियों के उपाधियों तादाद में से उनके लिए जो चाहिए उपाधियों को, they are busy in fulfilling that. We are also the same, but they are very rare specimen here. They understood all this drama. There's only one truth is there that has to be realized. Then only the moksha. But what are the obstruction are? Not the world, but our worldliness. It is by our choice we start pulling ourselves away and putting more and more Lord, whether you call it as through karma yoga while doing karma outside, brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti, whether you call it in bhakti as the navadha bhakti shravanam kirtana vishnu smaranam sevanam, whether you call it as chitta vritti nirodha yoga, whether you call it through atma jnana anatma viveka, path kuch bhi ho, are we going heading towards that the truth, that self, the reality? Our faculties, are they inclined more and more to that? So the eyes, are the eyes seeing the forms and colors and informing it to the mind, and mind getting enchanted by them? Is that mind having any raga dvesha, absolute samsara? Or are the eyes seeing the world but with the knowledge behind, recognizing it to be the presence or expression of the truth only? Therefore, seeing the world through faculties is not problem. What do you take that world as? If you take it as the expression of divine, we are safe. In any other way, if it is taken, we have created our own problem to ourselves. These in turn create all those strong, wrong vasanas, and we take the world as a thing other than God. Then, when it is other than God, then all projections of the mind start happening about the seen world, whether it's good or bad or ugly or beautiful, giver of happiness or misery. Therefore, should I get attached to it or detached to it? No, whether we do all these or not, but the thoughts in the mind are only of Bhagavan. Riding on the world, sorry, riding on the vehicle of the thoughts, we are also worldly. We have the vehicle of Antakarana, and with that Antakarana vehicle, wherever we go, we become that. We go toward the worldliness, we are samsari. We go toward the Lord, it is a spirituality. This is what is said in any Upanishad, when it is in Kathopanishad. Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi Shariram Rathamevatu. Why that Ratha Rupa Kalpana is given for the sadhana? Buddhim tu saradam vidhi mana pragrahameva cha indriyani paranyahu indriyebhyam. See, विज्ञान सारथिर्यस्तु मन प्रग्रह नरः सह अध्वन पारमाप्नोति तद विष्णु. It is said in the Vedic Bhasha, but what is said is this only. Our indriyas, faculties, where are they directed towards? So, Vijnana Sarathi, Manaha Pragravan, Saha Advana Paramapnoti, that Vishnoho Paramam Padam. The one with intellect understood the goal as truth and pulled his mind and senses, controlled, and with that chariot going towards the Paramatma, then Vishnoho Paramapadam Prapnoti. He will reach to that Parama Vishnu Pada. Whether you call it as Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah, Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha, Shreyo hi Dhiro Viprayaso Vrunite. So, in every of the Upanishads, what we have studied, any of the Ramayana Adi we have studied, Bhagavad Adi we are studying, Gita Adi we are listening, studying. In all of that, simply what is sadhana we have to know, and consciously we have to do it and bring that meaningfulness for our regular Shravana of the Shastras. Silently, secretly. Nothing to boast, nothing to proclaim, nothing to declare, nothing to inform others. Kuch nahi. I am there. Whole world is in front of me. In the world, I can do millions of things. All abilities are there. But anything done will be only binding because world itself is not real. It is mithya. Therefore, I being in the world, instead of like others or my earlier life, going to the world, let me discover what is behind the world, what is beyond my faculties. And this is called spirituality. Now, through the intellect, how much I am exposed to Shastras and getting the clarity. Through the mind, how much I am liking and loving that goal. Through the Indriyas and Sharira, to whatever the extent they can help us in the sadhana, am I doing or not? शरीर इंद्रियों का आध्यात्मिक साधना में इतना मदद होता है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कि दे आर नॉट डिमांडिंग देयर desires or bhoga to distract us. If the sharira is not demanding too much of nidra, if the indriyas are not demanding any pleasures of the world enough, like what do you expect from your children? If they don't trouble you so much, coax you so much, nagging nahi hai, enough, then you can continue your works. More than that, you don't ask your children of 4 or 5 years, कि help you in cooking, help you in cleaning house, help you. उतने में वो क्या पूछोगे आप उससे? So to Indriyas and Sharira are not required for Paramatma Anubhuti. Paramatma is beyond all. But then what they do, continuously the nagging. है ना, एवरी शब्द स्पर्श प्रसंग को भोग मांगते ही रहता है हमारे इंद्रिया. शरीर says, give me the nidra, give me the laziness. Oh, इसका ये है, don't put me in the work, don't make me active, I just want to sleep. So if these two help us that way, Sharira is not pulling us to Nidra Adi because Sharira is Jada, Dravya. उसको सोने में मजा आता है. Identify with that too much, the Jiva feels like always sleepy. That's called Tamoguna. Nidralasya Paramadottam Tattamasa Udahartam. And through the Indriyas, the Bhoga of the Vishyas. If these two are not demanded, at least those few hours of our sadhana, then with the mind, the love and liking. for growing in spiritual sadhana, for growing that introvertedness with the buddhi again and again through the, as today we started our interaction with this only through repeated listening, studying, that the theme is understood of the spiritual shastras. More than that, it is remembered. And all the time that alone has to be remembered. Then only all the time that is loved. Then only all the time we will try to reach to that. Then only it is called as sadhana. Sadhana is no more partial or temporary or a 1 or 2 hours per day. Please, for us, we are listening to Shastra such long time, it has to be very clear now. Earlier, when we were childlike, बचपना उस समय चलो 1 घंटा सत्संग करांगे बाकी समय दुनियादारी. अब वो नहीं चलेगा. Whether you are in satsang or sadhana or you are in the worldliness, the faculty is one only which is used to involve in called as our own mind. So the mind which has to go deep in meditation. If this mind is spoiled by taking it to worldliness, how can it help me? It says, तुमने ही मेरे को दुनिया में ले जाकर इतने भोग वासनाएं संस्कार निर्माण कराई. अब आप बोलते हो कि अब मेरे को चुप बैठो. How can I चुप बैठो when you sit for meditation? So this we have to know. Instrument is one only, whether here or there. So taking the instrument in the worldliness, spoiling it with worldliness, and with the same instrument mind, trying to quieten it, trying to see beyond. This is a big pathetic inner mistake and frustration. Frustration because it will never be achievable. What is never achievable? Becoming quieter in the mind, seeing that which is beyond the mind. Impossible if this wrong exercise goes on. That is why the Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka is so simple. Paramatma is permanent, everything else is impermanent. Vairagya is so simple. Therefore, I want Paramatma only, nothing of the world. Because permanent only we should seek. Thoda bhi dimag hai to, common sense. When these two are there, then that mind taken into the world, that will be reduced. And what do you do at that time? Put the mind more and more in Bhagavan. इधर भक्ति मार्ग ज्ञान मार्ग पहले तो हमको ना उस साधना पथ में स्थिर होना है पथ में चलने का स्थिरता then there we negotiate what level of maturity we have emotions we have impurities we have then what are the sadhanas for coming out of these things तो वो चलेगा first hit the highway then turns and twists and all okay you will reach the destination one day. So the two things what we have seen were first one is intellection to know that permanent is to be gained and that is done through only one thing regular study of Shastras. Shastra Dhyanam gives us information, gives us inspiration, enhances us love for the truth, proves the ephemerality of the world, makes us pull away from the world, creates sense of urgency to know the truth. All are required for spiritual growth and all are given only by Nirantara Shastra Shravana, Shastra Adhyana. There is no other way. Second thing we saw today is what is the essence of all the listenings which we have got for so long time is only this faculties riding on them. We are going into the world, then samsara, samsari, into the Lord, then sadhaka and siddhi. Basic points. Then while doing it, the struggles, the difficulties, the weaknesses, the pushes and the pulls, they are all not available, avoidable. They will be so. Like once you decide a destination and hit the road in any your vehicle, you have to go through all the twists and turns and speed breakers and all the traffics coming from behind, coming from ahead. तो वो सब तो फिर we can't avoid. Same way, after starting the sadhana, all these things we have to negotiate. That all the arts will be learned. फर्स्ट हमको डेस्टिनेशन डिसाइड करके ट्रैवल को डिसाइड करके शुरू करना है अभी नहीं हुआ वो we are not at deeply only the purely spiritual sadhakas with the urgency that I must experience self. हाँ दिया जाए ऐसे भगवान फुकट में हम ले लेंगे in that mood we are. Is it not? मिलेगा तो मिलेगा, ठीक है। हाँ, थोड़ा लग रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लाइक सम यंगस्टर्स, हाँ, कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हम इंटरव्यू अटेंड कर रहे हैं, मिलेगा तो नौकरी, इधर नहीं तो उधर मिलेगा। बट देयर आर सम फेलोज, आई वांट ओनली दिस जॉब, आई विल ट्राई फॉर इट, एंड ही वर्क्स हार्ड. They are the cream of the society who can support the whole country. They are the big doctors, big engineers, big lawyers, big chartered accountants, big bureaucrats, civil servants. ये सारे हैं, हाँ, जो मिला हो तो वो करेंगे, नहीं तो कोई देखते रहेंगे. These brand नहीं होते वो लोग. They have decided well in advance in life. At the age of, the class of 8th, 9th or 10th, in heart of them, ये हमको बनना है. So they choose that subject, they study that. Even if they fail, they make repeated attempts. See that chartered accountancy. How many? हम कुछ भी लोग तो 10-12 अटेम्प्ट करते, बट हमको बनना है, बन भी जाते हैं. For the medicine, you 13, 14, 15 years of life you have to spend to get established. हमको वही बनना है बस. और ऐसे जिनके अंदर ये नहीं है, वो लोग फिर देन एनीवेयर फादर पेरेंट्स पुट दे स्टडी, एनीवेयर सम नौकरी कम्स दे डू. वो पढ़ाई का नौकरी का कोई संबंध ही नहीं होता, बट सम गोइंग. Is it not? Such people, medicine they leave halfway and start some other job. They do engineering but they join some other place as a clerk. कोई संबंध ही नहीं जो पढ़ा ही हो. But the ones who says no, I have to become the ISRO scientist. So what is the way to enter into ISRO? He will try that only. Or I enter into this constructional or civil engineering sector. And then oh, I want to be an architect. वो जॉय ही अलग है उसका, चाहते हुए कुछ करके पाना. सो टू इन आवर हार्ट्स, चाहते हुए कि हमें परमात्मा अनुभव पाना है, कुछ करके मीन्स सब कुछ करके फल साधना पाना. So towards that we have to mold. And this not only in the class. The most difficult thing is throughout the day, the same understanding, same mood, same inspiration. We have to keep on maintaining, not only without forgetting, but with a double intensity. For two reasons. One is in the class, only information we have, that also because of the Guru Parampara speaking to us. Second is in the world, the Guru Parampara is not there to speak to us, and the whole world is there to pull us and say, कोई वांदा नहीं, क्लास गए ना, अब सब छोड़ देना, चलो हम घूमने चलते हैं. Then to combat that two things, that the Guru Masters are not there and the world is there to pull us, what we hear in the class, it has to be doubly contemplated when we are off the class at home. That information, that readiness in us, the information at the easily available level should be there to inspire. है ना, मोमेंट क्लास हो गया, तुरंत अब इसको पढ़ना है, मनन करना है, चिंतन करना है, ऐसा वाला ही थॉट्स एंड एग्जीक्यूटिंग दम एंड रेगुलरली एंड बीइंग हैबिचुअल इन दैट, लाइक पूज्य गुरुदेव. Outside work he does for the expansion of the whatever you call samstha, but inside always in tune with the truth. That only while working outside vigorously, he was able to talk on all shastras every day throughout life. नहीं तो हम दुनियादारी में फंस जाते हैं तो शास्त्र भूल जाते हैं. Because the mind is occupied by that. No, you won't remember what Upanishad we studied, what was the Bhrugu and Varuna story. अब पूछता हूँ मैं, कठोपनिषद का स्टोरी बताओ, याद है? मुंडकोपनिषद का दो पंछियों का याद है क्या? तैत्तिरीय कहीं दो पंछियों का याद है, कहीं देखा हमने? या पंछी का with 5 limbs. Because of worldliness we forget. But he was doing all out, but not at the cost of inner. That means what? His attention is always on the truth. One is experiential, second is that has to be conveyed through Shastra to the beings, which is his main purpose. Same applies to us also. Always we are in that reminder. And anything which makes us forget that, that is an enemy, we should be able to give up that. Outside you can't give up, inside we have to give up. And some jada vastus are outside, they have to be given up on, which make us forget the truth as goal, which remind us the world as goal. Such things have to be deliberately avoided. He only can be true sadhaka. And the half-hearted or half-baked sadhaka is what he takes for granted, and they involves in the world also with all fervor, forgets that each thing is creating vasanas in him, each thing is strengthening the worldliness in him, each thing is diluting the inspiration gained through study of Shastra. उनको पता नहीं होता, that is immaturity. पर a mature person कहीं जाएगा नहीं, अभी कहाँ जाऊँ मैं, मुझे अंदर जाना है, अपने आप के पास जाना है. How can there be going anywhere I can go to myself? I can't. My goal is to go to myself. Then I will not go anywhere. He'll be at home, आराम से दिन भर, with full conviction. He is involved only in discovering his own self. No other thing is calling him, pulling him, occupying him. That stage has to come to you and me. Then in that way, few lives when we spend, the sufficient quietness, Shuddha Sattva Guna, introvertedness, subtlety, ability to not only understand the truths that are in Shastra, but piercing through the layers of Maya, Moha, we can slowly, first intellectually, thereafter that intellectual conviction, when it is practiced, called as Nidhi Dhyasanam, then slowly that layers of Maya with all its delusions gets peeled off, then the truth is experienced by us as ourselves. So these are the things to learn which, to become stronger in which we are every day assembling for some time, trying our best to see through the Upanishadic Adhyayana. May all the Upanishadic Rishis, Gurus, Paramatma bless us so that all these things happen in us truly, sincerely, and for that, whatever is to be done, may we all be ready to do them. Okay. Let us chant Pranava Upasana onwards. Hmm. ओम नो और सब हो गया. We have to do शिष्यानुशासनम. ओम वेदमनोच्चाचार्योऽन्ते वासिनमनुशास्ति सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः आचार्याय प्रियं धर्माहृत्य प्रजातन्तुं मा व्यवच्छेत्सीः सत्यान्न प्रमदितव्यं धर्मान्न प्रमदितव्यं कुशलान्न प्रमदितव्यं भूत्यैन प्रमदितव्यं स्वाध्याय प्रवचनाभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं देवपितृकार्याभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव यान्यनवद्यानि कर्माणि तानि सेवितव्यानि नो इतराणि यान्यस्माकं सुचरितानि तानि त्वयोपास्यानि नो इतराणि ये के चास्मच्छ्रेयागंसो ब्राह्मणाः तेषां त्वयासनेन प्रश्वसितव्यं श्रद्धया देयम् अश्रद्धया अदेयं श्रिया देयं ह्रिया देयं भिया देयं संविदा देयम् अथ यदि ते कर्म विचिकित्सा वा वृत्त विचिकित्सा वा स्यात् ये तत्र ब्राह्मणा सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता अयुक्ताः अलोक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तत्र वर्तेथाः अथाभ्याख्यातेषु ये तत्र ब्राह्मणा सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता अयुक्ताः अलोक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तेषु वर्तेरन् तथा तेषु वर्तेथाः एष आदेशः एष उपदेशः एषा वेदोपनिषत् एतदनुशासनम् एवमुपासितव्यम् एवमुचैतदुपास्यम् ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत् तद्वक्तारमावीत् आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। ओम विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधाजलधे महितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि। ओम परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यास वैशंपायन आज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः शास्त्रज्ञानानां साम्प्रदायानां गुरुशिष्यपरम्परायाः देवता भक्त परंपरायाः पुनरुत्थान पुनर्जागरण विश्व व्याप्ति द्वारा विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति द्वारा विश्व शांति कल्याण एकता प्राप्त्यर्थमस्मिन् कर्मणि निष्ठित समस्त साधक भक्त सेवक धर्म संस्थापकानाम् अस्माकं सह आयुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्य क्षेम स्थैर्य धैर्य वीर विजयादि प्राप्ति द्वारा श्रद्धा भक्त्यादि समस्त साधना उपलब्धि द्वारा समस्त शक्ति सानुकूलता प्राप्ति द्वारा विघ्न शत्रु निर्मूलन द्वारा साधनानां प्राप्ति द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थं श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदं चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं। तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम अथ तृतीया भृगुवल्ली दशमोऽनुवाकः। स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवं विद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसंक्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्निकामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत्सामगायन्नास्ते हावो हावो अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृत अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुतास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य नाभायि यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वः अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतेः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Friends, we are doing Dashamaha Anuvakaha. Bhrugu Shikshavalli made us to do lot of upasanas right from beginning of learning the Sanskrita Bhasha, the Vyakaranam, the Ucharanam, from there starting onwards, doing the Vyahurti Upasanas, doing the Adhikarana Upasanas, doing the Pangta Upasana, doing the Prana Upasana, and doing Swadhyaya Pravachana Ityadi. We are from the utter worldliness brought into the spiritual zone. The purpose of all that is that. From the total worldliness to this. Then from here, once we are into spirituality, spirituality always talks about the truth, the self, the reality, the core. Especially the Vedanta Shastras. Therefore, that core reality, truth, spirituality, spiritual truth is called as Brahma Tattva. Therefore, the entire detailed knowledge regarding the Brahma Tattva, starting from if we know that Brahman, what result comes. है ना, ब्रह्म विदाप्नोति परम सूत्र वाक्य से लेकर through the process, first starting with explaining or defining the Brahman, which is indefinable, as Satyam Gnanavantam Brahma, वहाँ से लेकर throughout the second Valli, Brahma Valli, we were taught about all details of the Brahma Tattva. It's called as Brahma Vidya. Then the third Bhrugu Valli started to tell about the sadhanas with an Akhyayika, a story, so beautifully. In that again, after knowing the theory, from the scratch, what sadhanas have to be done to reach the ultimate, all are covered in the Bhrugu. So these are all symbolic sayings. What are they? Bhrugu went to the Guru and Guru's father only, how he went, what he asked, how the father Guru replied, how he received and reciprocated. So they're all beautiful things. Thereafter, what are the mantras? Annam Nindyat Ityadi were symbolically telling us as a sadhaka how we have to conduct. These are already repeated in Bhrugu. They were Brahman. They were already told in Pranava, what do you call the Shikshavali only. But in those places they were told as a preparation for Brahma Vidya gaining. But here, after Brahma Vidya gained, to convert the Vidya into Anubhuti as a part of the sadhana internal, called as Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, these external things are told particularly as sadhanas. That flavor we have to see in each of these mantras. Annam na Indyat, Annam na Parichakshita, Annam Bahupurvita, the Kanchana Vasadaho Pratyachakshita, in all of them. So all these have to be studied in such a manner that our lifestyle should be like this throughout. We should be molded into the mold of the Taittiriya Upanishad way of living life, external, internal, for the innermost self's discovery, which is our goal. So all these have to be studied that way, remembered that way. For that again and again contemplated on that way. तब जाकर अच्छा उपनिषद में ऐसे जीने को कहा, ऐसा करने को कहा, ये छोड़ने को कहा, ये उद्देश्य रखने को कहा, ऐसा हमेशा होना है. Like a true disciple, my guru told me to do this, he told me not to do that. He always remembers. A bhakta also, my Lord loves this, so let me do that only. He doesn't like this, I will not do. ऐसे होता है कि नहीं? जो भक्त जो होते हैं, same way. A Tattwajna Vedanti, you will always have to think about what Shruti Mata here Taittiriya has told us to live, Vaisa hi Jina. Clear? Now in the last Anuvaka, not the least greatest one, the 10th one, we are seeing how clear every topic is. That the Nakanchana Vasudau Pratyachakshita वहाँ से लेकर up to the one कि अंततो नगम राध्यम अंततोस्मा नगम राध्यते य एवं वेदा, a complete set. How wonderful it was. Then we are given the Manushi Samagnya, Kshema iti Vachi onwards. Then we are told the Daivi Samagnya, Truptiriti Vrishtav onwards. Then more specific, deeper sadhanas told to us, in fact, with the Falashruti also. Tat pratishteti upasita pratishtavan bhavati. See how clear every aspect, how emphatic, how perfect it is if we carefully listen and do the practice. The knowledge of it is gained. We know how important, how great it is. So all these we have covered up to tad brahmana parimara ityupasita pariyenam riyante sapatnaha pariye apriyaha bhratruvyaha. After that, before starting sayashchayam purushe, okay, before that, a prashnottari between the Guru Siddhanti and the Shishya of the Purvapakshi we started yesterday. Two questions we have seen in that out of 6 or 7. Number mere ginti nahi lagai. Initiating the introduction or discussion, Guru himself says, or Guru just wanted to say as an avatarika to Sayashchayam Purushe mantra. But listening to that introduction or avatarika of the Guru, the disciple or the Purvapakshi, he raises questions. Those questions and those answers give clarity to us in so many very important aspects on spiritual journey, spiritual understanding, spiritual journey. So first thought he said is he through the mantra of Anna Annada, which started with Prana as well as Shariram, and concluded with Akashonnadaha, then Prithvi. Here is Prana and Sharira, the last one is Akasha and Prithvi. In between, Apaha and Jyoti. Why they are given? What the purpose of those things and the upasana and what it should lead to if you do the upasana properly is to know that the anna annada are in the karya, in the projected imaginary world, not in reality. So that is what we have seen. The first thing, the avatarikame ki pranova annam shariramannadam iti arabhya akashantasya. What is the purpose of this talking in these three anuvakas 7, 8, 9 is ki karyasya eva anna annadatvam uktam. The anna, the consumable goods, that world of experiences, annada, the consumer, the experiencer, both of them are karyasya eva. Okay, karya jagat means the jagat which is projected out of God. Therefore, in pure Paramatma, these two are not there. Therefore, as long as we hold on to these two, we are in Jagat, we are in Samsara, not in the truth. अन्ना अन्नाद का जब तक रियलिटी दिया जाता है, then in reality we are not there. We are in the unreal world only. In the pure self, the anna annada sambandha is not there. When this was when it is said, the Purvapakshi asked, "Uktam nama kim tena?" बताया होगा भाई, और उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, क्यों बताया बात? मेरे को तो तभी पूछना था, अब पूछ रहा हूँ, किम थे ना, why it was said, and the answer given is so complete. We have paused 2 days, we have spent time trying to browse through that clearly. What is the answer given? Tena etat siddham bhavate. Why? By Shruti these words. And when those words are taken by us literally and when we practice, this becomes siddham. Siddha means this is what Shruti Mata wants to say, and this is what should be our understanding and experience also. What is that? Ki karya vishaya eva bhogya bhoktrutva krutaha samsaraha. So first samsara is defined. So bhogya bhoktrutva is samsara. Now dekho, samsara which we call spiritual language, in non-spiritual language it's called as world or creation. Therefore, what is creation? Creation is nothing but on one Paramatma, the dichotomization or the superimposition or the projection of the Bhogya and Bhokta, experiencer and experienced, knower and the known, Vishayi and Vishaya, subject and object. On the pure Paramatma who is one without second, the projection of subject object is called as creation. In that we are lost, therefore the Paramatma is beyond, we are not able to experience. That is the meaning of here. Ki karya vishaya eva bhogya bhoktrutva krutah samsaraha. So we are in samsara. What is samsara? Bhogya bhoktrutva. And where this bhogya bhoktrutva rupi samsara karya vishaya eva. It is in the karya brahma called as maya. Maya se dhire dhire akasham. From the akasha, the whole panchamahuta, everything. In that only it is there. Natu atmani, not in the self. Therefore, bhogya bhoktruta rupa is a samsara. It is in the karya, not in the paramatma. But I don't feel it. I feel I am experiencing all samsara. Atmani tu bhrantya upacharya. Because of the bhranti, it is imagined to be belonging to the atma, the self. That's why we are suffering. Knowing the bhranti as bhranti is realization. And then dropping it because it is bhranti. Like seeing the snake is delusion. Knowing that what is a snake, rover, but seen as snake. When I realize that I am seeing the snake in the place of rope, I have realized the bhranti. So realizing the bhranti as bhranti and dropping it is the sadhana. Seeing the reality. So these two sentences have to be by hearted. What is that? Ye, कार्य विषय एव भोग्य भोक्तृत्व कर्तृत्व संसारः न तो आत्मनि. Second is what? आत्मनि तो भ्रांत्या उपचर्यते. It is only yesterday भ्रांति क्या है हमने explain किया. It is only inadvertence preceded by or guided by the non-thinking, non-using of intellect sufficiently leads to this bhranti that the bhoktrutva bhogya which belong to the karya are taken on to the self, the atma. Same thing in our yoga darshana. Pradhana purusha samyoga heya hetu. Purusha always is sakshi. In the pradhana only all the modification happen. Hone do, if you don't say this and remain as sakshi, instead of that, we start becoming intellectually, emotionally involved in whatever is happening in pradhana, then we are in samsara. Samsaraha dukkha baulaha, samsarasya karanam, pradhana purusha ekata. That's what we saw in the introduction also today's class, the 26 minutes of introduction. After the first topic we covered, in the second topic, first topic of why Shastra should be studied, and the second topic of what is the essence of sadhana, our faculties into the worldliness, our faculties into spirituality. First is samsara, second is sadhana. That simple thing is technically in the Shastriya Bhasha is told like this. Shastriya Bhasha, traditional way. So upadhiyo mein hi hai bhoktru bhogya, not in Paramatma. And it is not at all difficult to grasp it. What is it? Am I not always aware of what I am enjoying? Is it not? With any of the indriyas or mana, whatever I am enjoying or suffering, am I aware or not? Yeah. And then, am I not aware also of the enjoyer, sufferer in me? Then only you tell others na कि मैं miserable हूँ. और कोई available नहीं, because they are busy in their own misery. है कि नहीं? कोई पूछता है क्या हाल है आपका आज, then don't we tell them क्या हाल है बता दो कि बहुत बेहाल ही है. So who is telling बेहाल है? How is he telling? Because he is aware of the experiencer. Then if I am aware of what I am experiencing, when I am aware of what I am aware of the experiencer, then who I am must be? I am other than these two, no? And these two are continuously changing, the experiencer and experiencer. But the awareness is aware of all those things. Therefore, the experiencer, experienced Rupi Samsara Jagat is not at all, it is separate from the self inside. Self is different from them. Such a simply we can understand, but we have to abide in that knowledge. And the deeper analysis of this Shastra and also our Yoga Darshanam proves to us that it is the Inability to discriminate this way, inability to separate the too much contact between them, you know, is the cause because of which the I Atma self as if gets entangled in the samsara which is happening in the Maya or Prakriti. Like in your office, two of the colleagues are fighting with each other. करने दो, तुमको सलाह पूछेंगे तो जवाब दो. बट वही गुजली आती है, मैं इसी जगह में काम कर रहा हूँ, मैं उनका प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ, तो मैं जाऊँगा, बात करूँगा. Please remember, everybody knows the solution of every problem. They don't want to apply it because they are caught up in some ego, some selfishness, some desire somewhere. Nobody is fool in this world. Impossible. Because in everyone Paramatma is there. So not knowing that, when we involve in that gadvada, दोनों मिलकर इनको डांटेंगे. You remain. If they ask you, tell. Otherwise, leave it. Same way, the bhokta and bhojya going on in the world. Why are you entangled in them? Now, these shastras deeply explain to us these things. And today we see drashtu drushya samyoga heya hetuhu. And who is drashta? What is drishyam? Why that samyoga is happening? Why that samyoga is happening? Only because you have not practiced not allowing that samyoga to happen. And another reason is bhranti. What is that bhranti? In that samyoga there is a sukha. In that samyoga there is dukkha only. In the viyoga you remain as your own self, which is ananda swarupa. But this knowledge is not coming to us. We are not holding on to that knowledge. According to that knowledge, we have not started devaluing the world and its experiences. Only when all these are done, habitually for a long time, that what's happening in the karya will not touch me, the Purusha. तो यहाँ तक पहुंच गए. तो संसार न तो आत्मनि इति आत्मनि तो भ्रांत्या उपचर्यते. One clarity. Now, in karya there is samsara, you said. Purvapakshi's point is, yeah. No, this Atma, which is there in you and me, is a karya of Paramatma only. Therefore, to this Atma, which is a karya, there must be a samsara. So he's trying to establish samsara. Thus, he doesn't want to accept the presence of Parabrahma. Thus, he wants to continue the samsara. His mind and the slave of the mind, ke roop mein, the intellect, think this way and to take us away from the truth. So the question is what asked by the Purvapakshi, कि the Atma is a karya of Paramatma. So the Paramatma के कार्य में you said samsara है, yeah. So the Atma being karya of Paramatma, therefore the Atma must be samsari. Atma means me. So nanu Atma api Paramatmanah karyam, effect of Paramatma. Tataha, therefore, yuktaha, it is correct to say that tasya samsara iti, that the Atma is a samsari and he has got the samsara iti. This is what Purvapakshi says, point. Siddhanti's answer, no. No, what is the discussion always of Purvapakshis? To give reality to the jiva, to give reality the upadhis, to give realities to the jiva's identification upadhis, and to give realities to the samsara which jiva goes through by executing through the upadhis, working through upadhis. All the time Purva Pakshi's thoughts are like that. And what is Siddhanti's proposition? Siddhanti's proposition is, first, there is no samsara. Second, there is no karana of the samsara called a karya jagat. Third, there is no jiva who is identifying with the upadhis. Fourth, there are no upadhis only. Fifth, there is only ekameva advayam brahma. When there is only ekameva advayam brahma, where from jiva came, where from upadhis came, where from the jiva identifying with upadhi became samsari, and where he has become karta and bhokta, and where is this dukkha to him? To this level, the Shastra tries to pull, the Siddhanti tries to pull, the Shruti Mantras tries to pull us to. The Purvapakshi, because earlier experience of the worldliness, habit of it, taste for it, samsar bhoga, itna strong hai na, then he starts coming down or pulling down from that level to this level. That जीव है उपाधियों के तादात्म्य करके वो संसारी है, वो होना ही पड़ेगा. You can't avoid. Therefore, let me enjoy the world with my faculties. Don't tell me to give up everything and contemplate on something which is unnecessary. This is how the Purvapak. Who is Purvapakshi? Our own lower mind. Who is Siddhanti? Our own higher intellect. If it is given complete knowledge of the correct way of knowledge of the Shastra. And that won't come one day. Erratic करने से नहीं होता हो. कम से कम 20 साल एक गुरु से निरंतर उपनिषद सुनने से होता है. चाहे इस जन्म में चाहे 100 जन्म के बाद. There are no alternatives. Upanishadic Jnana. Those Jnanis, people who don't follow the Upanishad but teach the Brahma Anumukti, which they got the people. Actually, what they are teaching is Upanishad. But somehow they are conditioned not to take Upanishad's name. क्या जरूरत है बोलते हैं. भाई हमको पता है कि परमात्मा is beyond Upanishad and all, but this thing is tradition. It gives an authority. And it gives an inspiration for somebody through the authority to the study the Brahma Vidya. That's the purpose. At one time, even we also who study Upanishad know that we have to go beyond that. Tatra Veda Aveda Bhavanti. पता है, बट फिलहाल तो और बाद में भी क्यों छोड़े उपनिषद जिसने हमको इतना मार्गदर्शन किया, तो वी यूज दैट ओनली टू टीच द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. So this clarity we have, but they don't have. But what they teach also is what is said in the Upanishad, the Brahma Jnana only. Therefore, Upanishadic Brahma Jnana, Nirantara Shravana only gives all this clarity. That's the idea. So where are we now? The question asked by him, the answer. Very important answer. But it's very important. In this analysis of this answer itself, so many complicated misunderstandings will go away. First, simple meaning I tell you. Then we study what? Simple meaning what? That Paramatma, be attentive, who is never a samsari by himself. Because he is infinite, he is one without second. He is pure Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That Paramatma alone, after projecting from him only the Akashadi. Now, he has projected Akashadis not from Brahma's standpoint. For us, because we are seeing all of that, we seek the answer. Therefore, for our sake, the Shruti Mata says. That Brahman was projected world, etc. We attend to. That Paramatma, that Asamsari, alone has entered. Therefore, the one whom you are calling as an Atma and saying as an effect or Karya, and the Paramatma as the Karana, and saying that because the samsara is in Karya Jagat, Atma being Karya, there is samsara to the Atma, this is wrong. Asamsari Paramatma only entered, whom you are calling as Jiva. No, Paramatma alone. There was the other person, nahi. He alone entered. Therefore, he being a samsari, the Atma is always a samsari. Now, on this, there are 3-4 questions whose analysis gives great clarity to us. One thing today we will see, 1 or 2. So, यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया? सिद्धांति का आंसर क्या है to this question? असंसारिणः एव प्रवेश श्रुतेः. That the Parama Atma who is a samsari, he alone has entered. No other body. Therefore, who entered is a samsari Paramatma, and he is always a samsari only. Therefore, Atma is not samsari. Atma, Paramatma, they are not two. A Paramatma, who is the substrate of the whole, you call him as Atma from one individual Upadhi standpoint. Otherwise, like I call it my Bijli and my telephone, the electrical number and my payment. It is for the transaction purpose, I say, but otherwise, the Bijli in everybody's house is not two, it is Advayam. Ekameva Advayam Bijli. Is it not? It will be the same functioning doing everywhere. Same faculties it has got. Anywhere, किसी के घर में बिजली पकड़ो शॉक लगती है. और किसी के घर के बिजली का कोई नाम निशान नहीं होता कि ये आंध्रा वालों का तेलुगु बिजली, पंजाबी वालों का पंजाबी बिजली, ऐसी नहीं होती है. अगर होती है तो लड़की का नाम होगा, वो रियल बिजली नहीं होगी. Is it not? Same. So, You are there, I am there, third person, fifth person. Because of these upadhikrita bheda, what is there in every one of them, we are calling as that person's atma, this person's atma, my atma. That person's electricity, this person's electricity, my electricity is just there, they are not many. So to the atma में बहुत नहीं है, एक ही है वो परमात्मा, one paramatma only. Because of drishti on the individualized upadhis is called as atma, and he alone entered all of them as the atma. Because tatsrishtva tadeva anupravishat. The Tva Pratyaya says that one who is the Srushti Karta is the same one who has done the Pravesha Karma also. So Srushti Karma, Pravesha Karma एक ही किया तभी जाकर त्वा प्रत्यय होता है. Yesterday we saw that. Therefore, the Atma is not Karya to Paramatma. Paramatma alone entered, and for the because of the difference in the Upadhis is called as Atma, as if they are different. Because the Shruti authority, ki tat srishtva, he creating the world, tadeva anupravishat, he only entered the world. So this reveals to us that secret. Therefore, anytime, even though I am working in this particular upadhi, illuminating this, that self which is illuminating this upadhi is the same self which is illuminating every upadhi and Paramatma. Why that thing we don't understand? Because we are so strongly deluded in that aham as well as this upadhi tadatmya. Sharira manamudyadi tadatmya, with that aham is so strong that beyond all this, manager of all these things, there is an atma which is nothing but the same atma in all called as Paramatma. That thing we are not able to catch. For that only the Shastra comes. That 10 बार सुन के 100 बार मनन करने से first intellectual understanding happens. कि there are upadhis in me, upadhi tadatma yukta jiva bhava is there in me, which is unreal. Beyond that is the Atma, which is illuminating all of that. Same is there in everyone, and that is not same, it is one without second. On one self, therefore, so many upadhis, through the so many upadhis, so many jiva bhavas, in the so many jiva bhava, as if to support them, the so many atme ऐसे है. But reality में one without second Paramatma alone is as an Atma illuminating Jiva and his Upadhis, each of the set. Like you are one set, I am other set, so other set. In set me, there is Upadhis, there is Jiva Bhava identified with Upadhis. And who is claiming himself to be Jagra Swapna Sushruti Purusha and who is wanting to be happy through the karma and karma phala, ये जो वाला झंझट चल रहा है. But in me, behind my Jiva Bhava, there is Atma Tattva, illuminator. Same is there in you. So these all things are same way it is there in you, and these are tattvas are not many. One. So this clarity comes to us through this thing. Tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. That's why it said satcha, tyatcha, niruktam, aniruktam, nilayanam, anilinam, satyam cha, anrutam cha, satyam abhavat. You know, after finishing one round of Upanishad, then we will know the glory of Upanishad. Then again with Akal say, common with the full presence of mind, when you study again Upanishad, then you will go into the depth of it. इतने सारे चीजें हम बोलते हुए भी मिस कर लिए. As a speaker me, as a listener you. Other is already told, he alone expressing through various upadhis, playing the play of various roles. He has not changed. सत्य वही है, त्यक्त वही है, निरुक्त वही है, अनिरुक्त वही है, निलयनम वही है, अनिलयनम वही है. सत्यम च अनृतम च सत्यम अभवतु यदिदम किच्च तत्सत्यमित्या चक्षते. व्हाट एन इंपॉर्टेंट मंत्र दैट वाज. आपको याद भी नहीं, हमने पढ़ा, उसमें कंटेंट भी याद नहीं. एवरीथिंग इन द वर्ल्ड इज वर्दी ऑफ फॉरगेटिंग, बट नॉट द तत्व ज्ञान एज वी स्टडी इन द शास्त्र. So the main sentence is tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. That srishtva is called tva pratyaya. That tva pratyaya is used wherever the karta of the both of the things is same. So therefore srishti karta as well as the pravesha karta is one only. Tat srishtva, Parabrahma having created the world, tadeva anupravishatu. When you say tadeva anupravishatu, he only entered. Therefore, who is you call as Atma is nothing but Paramatma only, a samsari. Therefore, in this way, the self in us, the Atma, is proved to be not the samsari. He is trying to say the Atma being the effect of the cause परमात्मा, he is a संसारी. अरे भाई कोई दूसरा बंदा नहीं है आत्मा के रूप में, परमात्मा के कार्य के रूप में. परमात्मा only entered like the Pancha Mahabhutas have come from the Paramatma. For them he has become Karya, Karana. They have become Karya. Okay? From the Karana Parabrahma, Karya Rupi, Akashadi came. In that way, from the Karya Brahma, Karana Brahma, the Karya Rupi Atma has not come. The Paramatma only has entered. उनके द्वारा उनके अंदर से जीव जन्म नहीं लिया और आत्मा जन्म नहीं लिया. Like the Akashadi got expressed or manifested, he himself is expressing like that. Therefore, the Atma whom you are referring is the Asamsari Paramatma only. Therefore, because Paramatma is Asamsari, the Atma also Asamsari proved. But he will not live Purvapakshi. सृष्ट्वा अनुप्राविशदिति समानकर्तृकत्व उपपत्तेः च सर्गप्रवेशक्रिययोः च एकः चेत्कर्ता तथा त्वा प्रत्ययः युक्तः. Yesterday we have seen all of that. Just now also we explained. So the tva pratyaya, when will it be used? For both sarga kriya, tat sృष्ट्वा, then pravesha kriya, tadeva anupravishat. For both of them, only one karta है, तभी जाकर त्वा प्रत्यय यूज किया जाता है. एंड श्रुति माता ने त्वा यूज किया है. Therefore, the one who became the karta of the Srishti himself has done the pravesh also. Therefore, the Parama Atma who is a samsari alone is the Atma in everyone. Therefore, because the Paramatma has no samsara, then the Atma in everyone also has no samsara. Clear. Now, the question by Purvapakshi. Next, pravish prave pravishtasya tu bhavantarapatti iti chet. Bhava, before entering, he is Paramatma only. Yeah. While entering also is Paramatma. After entering, he must have changed from the Paramatma to Jivatma or the Atma or Jiva. Samsari. प्रवेश करने के बाद he might have become changed. प्रविष्ट से तो भावांतरापति चेत. After entering that Paramatma, because of identity with Upadhis, he became Jiva, if you say. See the question there. At the time of entry and before entry is Paramatma only. But after entering, he must have identified the Upadhi and he became Jiva. Therefore, there is a samsara, samsari. Remember what Vedanta is. First, it proves that we are in samsara. It tells us that we have to go beyond samsara and realize the self. Then it proves that there is no samsara. Then it proves that what is there is only Paramatma. All these in the intellectual inquiry, knowledge study only. Nothing much to do outside. Only inquiry, only deep study. So having entered the created world by identifying with the Upadhi there, he became Jiva and now he became Samsari. If we say like that, before entering he was Paramatma. During entering he is Paramatma. But after entering he changed. Like before marriage, Ladki will have a father's name. Just during marriage also so. But once marriage over, her name gets changed into the in-laws surname. इंडियन ट्रेडिशन में है कि नहीं. पहले तो पिताजी के नाम पे थे बट बाद में तो उनका हो गया ना नाम उनका. इन द सेम वे बिफोर एंट्री इज परमात्मा बट आफ्टर एंट्री मस्ट हैव बिकम जीवात्मा. देखो वेदांत क्या पढ़ा रहा है. उपाधि तादात्म्य से परमात्मा ही जीवात्मा के तरह दिख रहा है, रियल नहीं है. बिकॉज परमात्मा नेवर गेट्स आइडेंटिफाइड विद उपाधि. व्हाई? ही इज ऑफ सच सटल मैटर मटेरियल. Then how come? That's what we are telling, no? That this you are not able to know and establish in it. That's called as avidya or bhranti. The bhranti ka remedy है सिर्फ knowing the knowledge authentically and abiding in it. That's it. और कुछ कर नहीं सकते. There's nothing to do in spiritual and Vedanta. Only to know that I am the self untouched by any of the dehadi, upadhi or worldliness. Establish in it and you realize that's it. Whether जगत हो या ना हो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. I am not attached to it. That's called prakasham pravrutti moham न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति उदासीनवदासीनः गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणावर्तन्त इत्येव यो अवतिष्ठति न इंगते. What a beautiful portion that's in 14th chapter of Gita. We will study thoroughly Gita. A Gita एक text with Bhashya. Let me try. Taking 3-4 years. Talk in all 3 languages. Telugu, Hindi, English. देखो अभी आया है thought. एक साल में भी हो सकता है. सुबह तेलुगु में, दोपहर में इंग्लिश में, हिंदी में कर लो तो मेरे को भी एक ही गीता बढ़िया रहेगा. I need not study other text also to talk to you. एक साल गीता जयंती से गीता जयंती 365 दिन डेली 2-2 लगा दो हो जाएंगे. Beautiful text it is. In that all these things come. Okay. Pravistasya tu bhavantarapati iti chet. Answer is no. No. It's a beautiful thing. Why? Because praveshasya anyarthatvena pratyakhyatvatvat. Now, did you remember when the Pravesha Shruti we explained to you, Bhashyakara says, in that explanation, didn't we give you the meaning of Pravesha, something else? Because we both discussed together, oh my dear PURVAPAKSHI, you are telling me about the Pravesha of Paramatma into the Srushti in so many ways. And you are telling it from the standpoint of the Shruti only because Tadeva Anupravishat करके श्रुति में ही लिखा है. And everything which you are saying in this way, the Paramatma entered Srushti, in this way entered everything. I was denying. At one time you become frustrated only, and you said if the Shruti, if the Pravesha in the Srushti of Paramatma is not possible, you became angry and said that then this sentence of the Shruti Mata is absurd, it is wrong, let us edit and throw that sentence, that Tadeva Anupravishat. Do you remember at that time, मैंने तुमको कान पकड़ के एक भेरी दिया, that how dare you came to establish the Shastra Jnana and you are denying the Shastra only. याद है मैंने इतना डांटा तुमको. Then looking at your frowning, frustrated face, do you remember I told you, oh my dear friend, the meaning of Pravesha is different. It is not the real literal meaning that a Paramatma entered, but it has another, not the meaning, but purpose. परमात्मा जगत में प्रवेश नहीं किया. Why? If he is not there, then he will enter. No. Where is he? He is not there. And then how can he enter? That was exhaustively discussed. हर जगह भगवान है. Because he is सर्वज्ञ सर्वव्यापक है. और सर्वव्यापक है तो where is the place where he is not? Then what is the meaning of प्रवेश श्रुति? We explained. प्रवेश नहीं हुआ, लेकिन श्रुति माता ने प्रवेश कहा. Then what we said? The कहने का उद्देश्य है, प्रवेश नहीं हुआ उधर. And what is the uddesha? To discover the upalabdhi sthana of Paramatma. तो अन्नमय, प्राणमय, मनोमय, विज्ञानमय गुहा में परमात्मा का प्रवेश क्या है? प्रवेश नहीं है. His expression from there in a specific form for us to become available so that we recognize him. So the अन्य अर्थ जो आपको बताया हमने प्रवेश श्रुति का, that means what? प्रवेश हुआ ही नहीं अभी. Therefore प्रवेश ही नहीं हुआ तो then भावांतर आपत्ति कहाँ आएगा? So therefore your point that having entered भावांतर आपत्ति होकर the Atma became Jiva, that is denied because entry का अर्थ ही different है. What said by Shruti Mata. It was more than the meaning of the sentence, it was a purpose of saying. Meaning of the sentence is what? Bhagwan entered in it. Everybody knows Tadeva Anupravishat means usi सृष्टि जिसको उन्होंने बनाया, he entered. What is difficult in understanding literal meaning? But everywhere in all Upanishads and all Shastra, the literal meaning and indicated meaning is the thing which we have to understand when you study a mantra. But in this exclusive purpose, it is not the meaning which is important. It is a purpose for which the sentence is said, which has a meaning. Here, if you give importance to the meaning, then you will have to fight with Shastra. We have to go opposite to Shastra. Because how can Brahma, who is always pervading everywhere, how can he enter? Therefore, it's not the meaning, it's the purpose. Purpose is what? For us to become available. At that time only we saw beyond Anna Pranamana in the Vijnanamaya Kosha that Brahman is available to us as the Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata. Reach to that point. Then go beyond this Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata. How? He is becoming Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata through the eyes and the ears and the mind and buddhi. That functioning through them, when you drop, then you will reach to the Chidabhasa. Chit Abhasa also is the Abhasa of the Chit on Aham Vritti. If that Chidabhasa, instead of focusing through the Indriyas into the world, at which time it was becoming Drashta, Shrota, Manta, the Chidabhasa Yukta Jiva, when he focuses on the source of the Chidabhasa in him called as Chitta, the Aham Vritti gets dropped. Then Chidabhasa goes away, Chit remains. And the Chit is eternally existing there, therefore it is called Sat. So this is how to discover that Paramatma, because he is everywhere there, but he is not having any special faculty, therefore he cannot be recognized. So, you remember, Sarva Vyapak hai Paramatma, but Nirvishesha hone ke karan we are not able to recognize. But here Vishesha Rupena is Upalabhyate. As what? Jnata, Drashta, Shrota, Manta. So for us to gain that Paramatma, he is Vishesha Rupena Upalabhyate. That Shruti Mata told us, Pravishatu. So it is not entry, it is an entry without entry. It is actually entry नहीं है, वो तो expression है, वो exit है वो. Oh, कि परमात्मा expressing from there as drashta, shrota, manta for us to recognize. He has not entered, expressing only. So from that standpoint, that after entering he has got bhava antara anupavati, that is denied. Now all this highest discussion is proving what slowly? Inside us the self is there, which is never a samsari. Imagining through the Upadhi Tadatmya as a samsari is imagination. That's what we are cutting here. Because if I have become something else, then I would have become back to Paramatma. I never became anything. I am that. That I have to recognize. These are all exercises, question answer, very crucial from that standpoint. So दो बातें हो गए. First point क्या है? Both the Drashta, Drushya, the Jnata, Gneyam, they belong to Prakriti, not to the Atma. On the Atma, it is superimposed. One. Second one is what? The second thing is what? The Atma is the Karya of the Paramatma. Therefore, Karya mein samsar hai, to Atma mein samsar hai. This is denied by quoting that Anupravesha Shruti. Your same fellow entered. Then the question came, same entered, but he might have changed after entering. Further, the answer is, it's not said he is not changed. It said he is never entered. It is not an entry. It is an entry without entry. The purpose of that sentence is to make us know the availability of Paramatma. Not that really Paramatma entered. Why? To enter, he should not be there, but he is always there. Where will the Akasha enter, Batao? Akasha can enter a place where it is not there. देखो वायु इज नॉट ऑल परवेडिंग, देयरफॉर इट गोस फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अदर. बट आकाश हर जगह, वो कहाँ जाएगा वो? नहीं है तो जाएगा ना. So to Atma being everywhere, he cannot go anywhere. Then what is the meaning of entered? For us to become available. That is the entry का उद्देश्य, मतलब द पर्पस, द प्रवेश श्रुति का उद्देश्य है. प्रवेश श्रुति का अर्थ प्रवेश किया है ऐसा कहने के लिए नहीं, हमारे लिए अवेलेबल के परमात्मा उधर है ये बताने. This is how. Then he will ask one more question. Anena jivena atmana iti vishesha shrutehe. अरे भाई छांदोग्य उपनिषद अनेन जीवेन आत्मना प्रवेश, उपनिषद खुद ही कहा है धर्म अंतरेण अनुप्रवेश इति चेत. he is now taking the big weapon of another Upanishad quotation कि Brahma having become Jiva is entered. That's what literally said there. So to that the Guru Maharaj gives the answer, no, you have not studied the complete Upanishad. In the beginning it is said for as a process for your attention to be diverted toward the self. But as your attention is diverted toward the self, the sentence which will be conclusively will be told is totally different. अब तुम बीच में कोई कोटेशन लेकर थोड़ी बताना चाहिए, पूरा तुमको फाइनल कंक्लूजन क्या है. At that conclusion level, what we said, it will be told there. All the discussion of these 3-4 question answers are there. We will study them tomorrow. आज का 2 मिनट या 5 मिनट में रिमाइंड करके those 4 questions and answers being very crucial for our intellectual data for analysis and understanding. Therefore, patiently we will study it. Then Sayaschayam Purusha Yascha Savaditya will be explained. Sayekaha. Then Say Evam with Asman Lokat Pretya. Beautiful will be the next our 5-6 days of this concluding portion study of Taittiriya Upanishad. Yeah. एक दिन एक पेज लगाऊं तो 3 4 5 6 6 7 दिन लगेंगे. Tomorrow will continue. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarshibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu Hari Om.